what's up guys? JG Garza Gang Adventures, and as always, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be upgrading our headlights in our 2014 Cadillac ATS. This thing came stock with the halogen headlights. They do offer them with the LED headlights, but unfortunately our model did not come with it. Nothing really wrong with the halogens. I'm just not a fan of the color temperature and the way and the brightness, to be 100% honest with you. So I took this opportunity to go ahead and grab some new LED lights from Oxito. These things are 20,000 lumens, 6500K, color temperature. They're going to be awesome. Like I said, there's really nothing wrong with the halogens. They perform well. I just like the look of these, and they're going to be way brighter, perform much better at nighttime. So with that being said, let's get this bad boy pulled into the garage, and we're going to see and kind of figure out what it's going to take to get these headlights changed. Let's do it. But before we pull it in, let's do a quick walk around and talk about the car itself. Like I said, it's a 2014, it's a 2.0 turbo, so it's actually a little four-banger, but honestly, she gets up and scoots. Super happy with this thing so far. It gets decent mileage, and it's still relatively quick. Never really considered myself a Cadillac guy, to be honest with you, but after driving this thing, I don't know, man, it's pretty sweet. We'll do a quick walk around, and then we'll check out the interior. She's a little dirty. That's all right. So, let's see what the interior looks like. Oh, hop on in the seat. We got the whole dash, looks pretty slick to me. Back seat on this thing, super tight, but it's just a commuter car, so it's gonna work fine for us. Push button start ignition. The Q system lights up. All the dashes are ready to go, and I think we're ready to pull this bad boy into the garage. Let's do it. All right, we got the old girl pulled in. Now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. If you guys are upgrading your headlights in your Cadillac, or any car for that matter, there's a whole lot of LED options out there. I will caution you from using the cheapest of the cheapest, because the cheapest ones tend to not have that high of a lumen output. The lumen output is basically the way that you're going to determine the brightness of the lamps that you're using. The stock halogens have a lumen output of 6,000 lumens, and these guys, which are from Oxito, I will leave a link down in the description if you guys are interested, but these actually have a 20,000 lumen output. So it's over 3 times the lumen output, which basically means it's going to be brighter, you're going to be able to see more. There is also a color temperature difference. Halogens have a color temperature of 3,000 kelvins. These guys are 6,500, so it's going to give you that much more whiter light that more represents daylight. And basically what that equates to is it's easier to see. So I looked up how we're going to change these things. They actually recommend removing the headlight, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to find a cheat code or a cheat way of doing it. And I'm actually going to remove the wheel. If I get down here, I'll be able to show you guys, but once I remove that wheel, I should be able to pop a couple of those little plastic pens and be able to access it from there. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna get this bad boy jacked up. We're gonna get these wheels off, and we're gonna see what that looks like. Let's do it. All right, so all I gotta say is thank God for YouTube. I went to go jack this thing up, and this is my first time jacking it up. Normally jacking a car up isn't hard. You just find the lift points, you find something solid, find a part of the frame, and jack from there. But on this thing, it wasn't so easy to find. The underside of this thing, honestly, like looking over the whole side, all I gotta do is jack up the front. But looking over the whole side, there really is no good solid points to be able to jack from. So of course, I had to pull up my favorite social media platform and try to find a spot. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. So there's the side. Again, normally you would just kind of scan the side of the car here and just try to find a spot on the frame that you could jack from. But on this stupid Cadillac, you're not able to do that. Or not necessarily that you're not able to, but it's not as simple as it has been on some of my other cars. So let's get our little handy dandy flashlight going here. I don't even know that this camera's gonna be capable. All right, so there it is. Right there, you could tell someone's jacked this up, and I got this thing kind of bent. I Googled and YouTubed the official jack point right there. You see that little cutout? Right there, that little ridge weld, or I forget what they call it, but this is actually where they say to jack it up from. You could tell they jacked it up from there before. I'm gonna try to avoid that, but I just wanted to include that in the video because it did take me longer than I care to admit to try to figure out where to jack it from. But with that being said, let's get this jack under this thing and let's get this tire off and we'll figure out how to replace this headlight. Let's do it. All right, looks like we're good. Let's jack it up. Someone tells me that my little 19mm socket isn't necessarily the right one for these lug nuts. If you guys know the right size, please let me know. It seemed like it fit the best, but after taking them off, I don't know that it's the best. Last one. Let's get this tire off. There we go. Set that to the side. And let me show you guys. So here's what we got. Tires off. Now we got this inner wheel well liner. There should be a couple plastic pens. I'm seeing one right there. Get that on camera. Should be able to pop that off and access the headlight. I'm gonna reposition the camera to get on the back side so you guys can actually see, and we should be able to get right to that lamp. Let's do it. All right, so I really was expecting these to be those little plastic push pin connectors, which usually when I have those, I use a set of side cutters to be able to pop those out. But to my surprise, they're actually little Torx bolts. So it seems like a T15 is gonna be in order here. So I'm gonna take these bad boys out. I'm gonna go from there. There's one. Yep. Definitely not the plastic push pins. Take those two out. We're gonna set them off to the side, and let's see. Probably need to get this bottom one off too. Oh. That out of there. missing one there. I'm gonna set the camera up on the tripod. I'm gonna see if I can get these out. All right. Well, there we go. That's gonna come out just like that. And one of those is our lamp. And it's looking like it's gonna be up towards the top. Ah. There it is. All right. Not too bad. Let's see if I can show you guys that. So what we did is we pulled back that little wheel liner. See if I can get some light in here. And right there, you're gonna see that little rubber boot. We're gonna have to pop that off, and then our lamp's gonna be behind there. So let's do that. Okay. I see an arrow that says close, so it's gotta be counterclockwise. Just gonna have to give it a little oomph. There we go. Got that cover off. Okay, so I got the lamp out, but I don't have the clearance to move it. So I got to get this out of the way completely. Let's do that. All right. There's your plastic cover to your headlight. We're going to go ahead and set that off to the side. Now that I got this out of the way, we should have plenty of clearance to be able to get that lamp out. So let's see what that looks like. There it is. All right. That wasn't too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's get rid of this crappy halogen, and let's talk about these new LEDs. Just a little connector there. You're gonna have to lift up a little bit and just work it out. Now, what I'm gonna do, even though I hate these little halogens, I'm gonna save it just as a backup, as a spare. It is a good lamp. Nothing wrong with it. If these LEDs act up on me, I'll have something to go back to. So I'm gonna go grab these LEDs and we'll get those slapped in. Let's do it. All right, so we're back at the workbench. We're gonna open up these new LED lights that we got. I'm gonna see what that looks like. All right, comes with these nice little fancy white gloves. Wow, look at these bad boys. So here's our new guys. Let's compare this to the old one. Here's our halogen, here's a new LED. That heat sink is huge. I'm hoping that that doesn't necessarily pose a problem once we get in there, but let's see what they look like. So just to touch base, like I said earlier, about these different LED lamps on the market, there's a whole lot of stuff that you could really get into, but these are super, super high quality, and I want to show you why. These have a really, really impressive heat sink built into them, and just looking at them, they got a cooling fan on the back. So one of the biggest reasons for LED failures is overheating. With this cooling fan, I really expect that that's going to make a big difference. You got these little side dumps for your actual diodes. Man, I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed with the build quality. You got this little rubber gasket around the outside that's going to seal it. These are IP67 rated, so they should be fine as far as getting exposed to the elements, but the Caddy has that little rubber boot over it, so I'm not really too worried about it. But yeah, those look super good. Let's get these bad boys in. All right, this shouldn't be too bad. Just gonna snap this in. It's got the little notch there. Bam. Let's get our flashlight. Got a couple little notches right here. Each one is sized a little differently, so you gotta line them up. Ah, nice little snap into place, and you're good. All right, so Let's show you what that looks like. There she is. Got the lamp in. Let's put this thing back together. We'll get that rubber boot on and we'll go from there. All right, so we got the Caddy sitting on all four again, but I wanted to take a quick minute and show you guys a little problem I ran into. Basically, these are your stock halogens, right? These are the new LEDs. Now, if you notice where that connector lines up, I'm trying to get it to sit right. They're bigger on the back end. You probably got every bit of a ½ inch as far as longevity. So you really got to play with that dust cover a little bit just to try to get it to seat right. And at first I thought that I was gonna have to modify the dust cover, but I was able to make it work and just play with it. But before we move on to the other side, I wanted to show you guys the difference in brightness. So let's turn these lights on, we'll go from there. So, there you have it. You got your LED, you got your halogen. I'm hoping that shows up on film, but honestly, in person, it's a huge difference. Like I said, you're talking 20,000 lumens to 6,000. So that's a heck of a difference, it really is. Let's see if we could dim these lights. Maybe it shows up a little bit better. So you could see right there, beam pattern. I mean, you can see the difference in color temperature, right? That projects out. And there you go. So there's the difference, halogen versus LED. Let's jack the other side up. We'll get the other side replaced, and then we can pull it out. It's finally starting to get dark outside. We can pull it out and see what the difference is gonna be. So I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna film the other side because I already filmed the first side. It's basically repeating the same thing. So I'm just gonna jack this thing up, get the lamp changed, and then we'll pull it out and see what it looks like outside. So let's do it. All right, so we got the Caddy back on all four for the last and final time. Now it's time to start this bad boy up and see what these headlights look like. So, you know, all in all, it took me a couple hours, but if you guys have ever recorded videos, it takes you 3 times as long to do anything, just trying to record and make it happen. So with that being said, let's start this bad boy up, we'll pull it out, and we'll see how she looks. All right, so I can already tell huge improvement over stock. If you see the way those lights are actually spread out right there, that looks awesome. Way better than stock. That is so much brighter. I might have to adjust my projector cutoff, so if you see on the garage, that seems a little bit low, but that's okay. The Caddy has some adjustments on the inside. But let's get on the inside of this bad boy. See what it looks like from the driver's seat. So, there we go. Let's back up a little bit. Now the Cadillac headlights, in a lot of cars you have different lamps for your high beam and your low beam. Cadillac actually has the same one for your low and your high. So that's what I was talking about with the projector cutoff. See it right there. Let's roll this window up just because it's a little cold. That looks amazing. That's your low beam. Let's check out high beam. That's awesome. Super, super cool. So that's it, guys. 2014 Cadillac ATS. We did the upgrade from the halogen lamps to the LEDs. I'm super, super happy. They're Oxito LEDs. You got an energy saving factor. I forget the wattage. I know the factory wattage was 55, and I think these were 20, which if you guys know anything about these things, they have huge electrical loads. So any of these electrical loads that I could take off of my battery, my alternator, I'm super happy with. And overall, I'm just super happy with this upgrade. This is the first one we did for the Cadillac. There's gonna be more to come. I love this little car. It's a perfect little commuter car. I don't know about you guys, but I commute 100 miles a day. So I want something that's relatively fun, but also decent on gas. And I think I got it with this thing. This car is super fun. We're gonna do a couple other things. I wanna do the muffler delete and a couple other things, but for right now, I think we're pretty much good. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We got more to come, and see you next time.